Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here, and today I have a solo playthrough for 1815 Scum of the Earth. This is the third in the line of historic epic battle system card games from All Nothing Productions, the first of which was 1066 Tears to Many Mothers, and then 1565 St. Elmo's Pay. I am now here to bring you 1815 Scum of the Earth, depicting the famous Battle of Waterloo, the fall of Napoleon versus the English forces. I'm going to be playing the French side and facing off against a solo bot, which is going to represent the English. This is a tactical card game in which I'm going to be playing cards from my hand into my area. I'm going to have artillery and cavalry and infantry units. I'm going to have characters and one-time events that I'm going to be playing. The bot is going to do the same back and forth. The goal is to get through all of these objective cards, which are historical events. I'll have to do damage and kind of cycle through. Once I'm done with that, I need to attack these frontiers. And if I get 2 of these frontiers before the enemy does, then I will win. Another win condition, if I want to, is to take out the enemy general right here, who is Sir Arthur Wellesley. That's who I'm playing against. And also avoid my own general, which in this particular case would be Michael Ney. Michel Ney? Sure. I'm going with the French. My pronunciation is going to be terrible, just giving everybody a heads up. Point being, I have to preserve this character in order to win the game. But before I get to all that card battling fun, let's talk about the One Stop Co-op Shop. You're on the YouTube channel. We also have our YouTube stream channel. We would appreciate if you hit that like button for videos you enjoy, and also make sure you're subscribed to both channels. We have our podcast, which is a weekly dive into all your favorite solo and co-op games, special topics, designer interviews, design discussions, available on your favorite podcast feed. We have our Discord, which is a great community talking about all your favorite games, old and new, popular and rare. Go ahead and check the link in the show notes below. Our Discord is completely free to join. We do have a Patreon. We would appreciate a contribution that keeps the games in front of the table, the tech upgraded. In exchange, you get access to exclusive tiers in the Discord, as well as exclusive videos from our content creators. We are the One Stop Co-op Shop, your one stop for solo and cooperative gaming goodness. All right, so I'm just going to give the briefest of overviews, and then I'll jump right in. So the goal of the game is to progress through this objective deck. So then these represent battles along the way, and both myself and the opponent have these kind of decks. So we're going to be meeting thresholds. So there's 2 types of stats in the game, zeal and might. So as I populate the area, they're going to have stats. So everybody has a zeal rating and a might rating. So then I will progress through this deck, and eventually when I get to the Battle of Waterloo, that is when I can start to bombard these frontiers, and claiming these frontiers is how you win the game. For the most part, zeal and might are only really good for attacking the objectives. In order to actually affect your opponent, you're going to have to use powers off the cards, which I'll show as the game goes on. So let's talk about these leaders. 9 hit points, really fat. Big time stats in terms of the zeal and the might relative to what else you're going to see. And a power. So the power on both of the leaders, and they are double-sided. I happen to be playing with the leaders Sir Arthur Wellesley on the British side and Michel Ney on the French side. They both have powers, and the powers are operationalized by tapping. The game says tire, because you can't say tapping, but that's what I'm going to say, is tapping. Okay, so they are going to be able to do, when you tap, the move 1 British unit or character to a different frontier. Same thing with the French unit. That's how you create that repositioning on the board, which is going to be really important, especially in the late game, as I mold things so that I can attack the proper frontiers. Each side is represented by a big fat deck of cards. At the beginning of the game, I'm going to draw a hand of 6. 6 is the maximum that I can have in the course of any round. So then they have all the stats. Here are their hit points. And they have a resource cost. Now, the way it works for a player is that if I want to play, let's say I wanted to play heavy cavalry, then it costs 1 resource. I would discard another card of any value, and I'd be able to play that closest to the frontier. It's very important for the player to play as close to the frontier as possible. Sometimes you're going to have a card like this that has a resource on it. I would be able to tap it, tire it, get a resource, and get a discount. Won't have to discard a card to play. in terms of the bot resources, they use this wheel. So they're going to be progressing from round to round, and they're going to tell you how many resources they get in a particular round. So in this particular one, playing normal, -1 resource, +1, which is 0. They'll be playing their 0 cost cards. What I've done is I've moved their cards out so that it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As the dial moves up, I'm going to be shuffling in cards. So then in the fourth round, they'll have the 0. And if I leave this around, there'll be 1. I'll shuffle the 1s in. And then there'll be eventually 1, 2, 3, shuffling those cards in. A little bit easier than just kind of like discarding the whole deck. The game has that in the rulebook. I recommend setting it up that way. All right, it is my go. It's not technically time to start yet. I can actually play this anywhere, at least at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to play them right there, so a little bit more room to maneuver. All right, so let's go ahead and play some cards. So there are different types of cards. The 2 cards that can go out in the field generally are characters and units. So a character, they tend to have powers, and units, they tend to be better when they're played together or played in certain spots. So I'm going to play this 3, Baron Francois Xavier Donzelot. Sure. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy my French pronunciations. Otherwise, go ahead and mute half of this commentary. So let's go ahead and play that 3 right there. And we are going to use 3 cards, and they are ready to go. It is time for the British side. First, you would check to see if they have any power, especially artillery. They would use their turn to tap and fire away at me. They don't have that, so let's just go ahead and pull a card. It is an event, so that's the type of card that is going to go away, so that we have the units that stay out there and the events that get played. All right, so then generally you look at the solo. Only the bot only does the solo part. The British unit with the lowest might gains might +1. There is no unit out there. So we discard that. And this is a little bit of an ambiguity in the rules. So anytime you have a card that is a no-op, if the card does nothing, even if you can pay for it, discard and draw again. So there was a little bit of ambiguity where it's like, okay, I can pay for it, but it doesn't do anything. Just discard it. Anything you get that doesn't have a game effect. Discard and pull again. All right, there we go. There's a unit. Move this card to a different frontier. Doesn't have to worry about the agile action. It just gets put in a priority system. So it's going to go here and start from the frontiers out. Let us continue to get set up. We are going to use this. And we are going to discard a card to play the heavy cavalry. So the reason I'm going to do it that way is because cost 1, which would be here. I discarded the card in order to boost. Boost is got to pay extra. If I pay extra, I get the bonus. So that I get Zeal +1 and Might +1 for being in row 3. So this little weenie all of a sudden is pretty powerful. All right, so let's keep on going with card plays. So that is an event. Sacrifice 1 British cavalry to destroy. I do not have any cavalry out here. So once again, you discard and you draw again. All right, so we have a character, the Duke of Brunswick. Black Brunswick commander, each Black Brunswicker, I imagine that's more of those to come, will get might +1. Don't have to worry about that. That is going to go here. And they are starting to mass in terms of their units. Now I'm going to pass turn. My hand is empty. Don't have anything else that I can do. So the bot gets 1 more play. This is the end of their deck. So you're going to see the same cards over and over again, at least until they can afford more cards. So now Prussian Landwehr. Played 11th hour, don't have to worry about that. Just more cards for their field. And so the 2 events, because that is all that is left in the deck, are going to get reshuffled. So this is a little bit of an awkward spot. And I've talked to Tristan about this, but this is the way that it's going to get fixed here in the solo. This event does nothing, and it will do nothing as long as there are the 0 cost. There are no cavalry units out here. Infantry, militia, character. So this card will never fire off. So what's going to happen is that buttons is going to be just play over and over again. And each time button play is going to add a might to the lowest troop. So the unit is going to be here. So these 2 troops, because they are units, they only buffs units. There we go. Ooh, 1 unit. There it is. They are going to just keep on endlessly gaining might for the next couple of rounds until I kill them and they get reshuffled. So just don't feel great about that part of the early game. It opens up once the bot gets more resources. They'll start playing more of their stuff. So just for a flag for people, if that feels a little bit wrong, that's how you play. Talk to Tristan if you want to address that. All right, we are at the objective phase. The objective is A, automatically destroyed, setup round. The next one is kill your emperor. So go ahead and read the flavor text on your own. Once again, these represent kind of stages of the battle leading up to Waterloo. It requires zeal to beat. So then at the end of next round, I'll be able to use whatever zeal I've accumulated, which is why I wanted to play that thing. If I overcome this 2, so like if I had 4 total zeal, I would deal 2 damage. Block 2, deal 2, up to a threshold of 7. Then I would progress. I would only do these solo. When destroyed, draw 1 card. If this is good, the battle I can choose that one, but it is solo that I would do. When that is defeated, the bot is going to be doing the same thing. They don't get any benefits. They just progress and progress along with me. And that is a whole round of 1815. I think we can jump right in and get going. All right, so now we are on to round 2. The bot is going to still have the -1 resource, but as the rounds go on, they'll get more. All right, I am drawing 2 cards to start. We have an attachment. Attachments, they just go on to characters. And the unit, French Infantry Division, the card gains zeal +1 if there's at least 1 more copy of this card. So let's hold on to that. In fact, let's hold on to both of these. I'm going to just pass turn for now. So the passing so early is a mixed blessing. It does deny bot plays. The less I play, the less it plays. However, progressing the round does give it more resources, more time to kind of gear up. So, but Buttons is going to play because the bot does get 1 play. And like I said, this card would get discarded over and over again. Buttons are just there firing up. So they are going to buff the character with the lowest might, add a might. And so that is going to be that one. Objective time, we got 3, 4, 5. So I have exceeded that right there by 3. So I do 3 damage to it. So it's going to take me, unless I get 1 more zeal, 2 rounds to get through this. So the Congress of Vienna has a zeal of 3 threshold. Arthur Wellesley has 4. Prussian Landwehr has 1. So 5 zeal total. Minus the 3, they are dealing 2 damage to their own objective. All right, so I got my 2 cards. Let's see what else I get. Come on, something good. All right, so I don't think it slows me down too much to tap that one and play the Young Guard. The Young Guard says, Bloodlust, deal this card 1 damage, deal 1 damage to 1 enemy in this card's frontier. We're going to play it right here. The bot is going to go. Buttons is going to play. They're going to buff, continue to buff these weenie units over here. And this is infinite. As long as I continue to go on, they're just going to keep on growing these. Their hit points don't grow, so they both have 1 hit point each. So they're easy enough to deal with, but it does take attention. So I could theoretically, it's my turn now, use these Young Guards to start picking these off, but I want to instead do 1 damage to myself in order to do 1 damage to Charles Lennox, their resource generator. If I don't get him, then the bot will shuffle in their 1 cards a lot earlier. As annoying as that is, I rather deal with this than have to deal with whatever comes out of the 1 deck. So let's just go ahead and take care of that by next turn. So what's going to happen is, because I've done an action, and then I'm going to pass after that, I'm going to hold on to my 3 cards. They get the reprisal action, which is Mr. Buttons. There you go. And they're going to get that too. And then for their action, that is the extra, they are going to just do that again. Just putting targets on these back, baby. They are not long for this world. All right, so because this is tapped, that's going to do, I have 4 zeal generated against the 2. So that's going to do 5. Next round, I'll be able to take that out. Same situation with the bot. They're dealing 2 zeal as well. 4 out of 6. All right, so it is my go. Going to draw 2 more cards. Got some artillery. Just in time. And beautiful daughters, add 1 cannon token to your artillery units. So these do get some tokens. They can't fire off forever. So it's nice to have the extra. Sweet. So at this point, it is round 4. And so round 4, they have a 0 resource. And Charles Lennox has the 1 resource that they're generating. However, Well, I would shuffle in the 1 cards at this point. However, I'm not going to do that. My first action, I'm not going to do anything except use my Young Guard again. The Young Guard's going to get tapped and kill themselves. So they deal 1 damage to themselves, 2 total. They are dead. But they take out Charles Lennox with them. Bye-bye. And you're not going to come back anytime soon. So in solo, these cards do not move up. If this were a multiplayer game, they would move up, but in solo, they want a situation where the leader is a little bit harder to access, so they don't move up, and the leader will just kind of put troops in front of them in order to stay alive. But we know what the bot is going to do. They still have the 0 resources still. Benjamin Buttons, I guess, is it Benjamin Buttons? It's not Benjamin Buttons. Who is it? Buttons, the core man. There you go. So I'm just going to call him Benjamin Buttons because that's funnier. So then Buttons is going to continue to buff this row. The next card in the objective is Might. So this would be just completely outrageous, out of control in terms of taking care of that Might. But I'm going to play some beautiful artillery instead. So let's go ahead and play that for 3. Going to tap that for 1 and discard these 2 cards. When they get played, they acquire 3 delicious cannonballs ready to fire. These poor blokes are going to get their buff, but then my next action, I'm going to tap this. I'm going to use the cannonball. The cannonball says, play or action cannonade, remove 1 cannon token to deal 1 damage to every enemy in this card's frontier. So there you go. That's the frontier. That's the frontier. Boom! So I use the resource, normally I would want to, go at the objective a little bit harder and everything, but I let the bot build up. I got my artillery and I was able to take them out. So the bot wasted a bunch of turns. It took me some opportunity cost to get there, but I thought the whatever it was happened, the exchange there was worth it. So now with everything I've put together, I've bought myself a couple of rounds where I know what the bot is going to do. It's annoying, but that's what they do. So then we're going to shuffle that, and now there's one of 3 options that can come out. It is going to be the Nassau Infantry. They are going to play right there. I'm going to pass. Let's see what else they play. Here comes Mr. Buttons. Mr. Buttons is going to do their familiar trick by putting up 1 Might. All right, this troop is really paying off for me. Getting them out there with that extra zeal was great because that let me use this a bunch and continue to make progress over here. So we have exceeded the threshold. I have dealt 4 zeal damage, overcoming the 2, and now when destroyed, I draw a card. So then that is going to be the Spyglass. Actually, look at the top 6 cards of your enemy's deck. I don't know about that. Actually, that's terrible for now, because I know exactly what they are. Maybe a little bit later. So here's the fun part. The enemy only has 4 zeal. I killed the other unit that was giving it zeal, so that's 4 to 3. It's going to add 1. It is 1 short of the threshold. I've leapt ahead of the bot in objective pacing. Great. All right, round 6. So sequencing is important. So first of all, I would check my hand, discard down to 6 cards. So game preventing you from just sitting here like I've been doing, building up my hand. So that's fine. So now I could draw 2 cards. And if I end my round and then go into the next round with these 7, then I'll have to discard down to 6. So I am okay. What did I get? I got the Zealot. Yes, excellent, because I need zeal. If you dealt damage this round, this card gains zeal +1. Gonna have to set that up. What else do I get? Ambulance wagons attached to a frontier. Any damage to the friend cards in this frontier is instead placed on this ambulance wagon. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and use that. Get rid of novices and veterans and use the ambulance wagon to cover this one. That's a little bit of a future play, but I don't mind future plays. I also have a sequencing deal in mind. I'm hoping that what comes out of here is a unit and a character to occupy this. If it's an event, oh well, best laid plans. Let's see what happens. It is a unit. Cool. Prussian infantry, coordinated. If a card shares this row or frontier with a card of the same name, it gains might +1. It does neither. So it's just going to land right here, which is important because boom! Deal a damage to every card in this frontier. So then that goes away, and I'm able to deal 1 damage to this card that has just come out, and I got 1 more cannonball for your face, sir. Let's see if a unit occupies this space in order to eat that last cannonball. Character, not a unit, a character. Henry Paget, traitor. That doesn't sound like an English name or a British name at all. Cavalry. This card gains might +1 while in row 3. It ignores response cards, but good that it's not in row 3. Beautiful. That's gonna. I love how that's set up. As much as it pains me to get rid of beautiful daughters, I only have the 1 artillery, and I'm not gonna get any more. It says add 1 cannon to each of your artillery tokens. It's better when you have a bunch, especially for its high cost. So we're gonna get rid of that and 2 more of my cards in order to play Francois Etienne de Kellerman, French general. I know, just leave me alone. Then there's the Zealot one. That is going to give me the +1 zeal that I need in order to make progress on that token up there. As a matter of fact, wait a minute, just going to do a little bit of rejiggering. I'm going to actually trade one of my other cards and keep this 1 card, and I'm also going to keep this other card as a resource and then tap this. Now that I have this, I'll be able to keep pace the way I want to here. So have to coordinate that hand. That is the essence of these historic battle card games. See what I got? An attachment. Let's see, no solo. Attached to a frontier, gains my +1. All artillery cards played into this frontier cost 1 extra resource. So I imagine attachments go on the frontier that is attached to the leader. I'm not sure totally about that, but if I have to make the call, then that's where it's going to go. Past turn, the bot gets 1 extra card play, a unit, Prussian infantry, coordinated. Wait a minute. Prussian militia, Prussian infantry. There you go. 2 of the same card. If this card shares a row with a card of the same name, it gains my +1. So that is going to fire off. I believe that they both get might +1, which puts targets on both of their back because the coordinated doesn't depend on like a when played scenario. So you just get a big target on your back, sir. I have the 3, 4, and I got that extra 5 down there. -3 is 2, so that is 2 zeal total. I am 2 away from flipping this. I'll be able to do that next turn. I just haven't done too much to affect the field. I've also not been able to get this character at all. I have had games where I target this one because the might is just so huge. Have not gotten the resources to take this one out. So 14 might is going to completely obliterate this one right here. So yeah, that's 11 damage out of 6. That's just terrible. So they are going to march. So they have the 1 might over here. Zeal, they'll struggle, but they have it's might, zeal, might for them too on the way to the Battle of Waterloo. Now they are ahead of me because I'm on my C and they're on my D. So I really got to push the pace this time. All right, now I am ready to proceed. It is now round 7. They are slowly marching towards their 2 resource cards. See what I got. I got Uncompromising Approach. Yes, that's the one. Destroy 1 non-leader enemy with zeal 1 or lower. Or the French Lancer is another good card. Deal this card 1 damage, so it's just better stats. It has the same effect as those young novices that I used. So good thing I kept that card. We're going to go ahead and tap that and discard the card that I kept last turn to play this one. We are going to take out this horrendous 4 generating might card. Immune to damage inflicted by units or characters. That is neither. That is an event. So bye-bye. Let's see what you get to replace it. It is an event. Nope, not a unit. Deal 1 damage to 1 unit or character. Then your opponent discards 2 cards from their deck. Ugh, don't love that. But I know what I'm discarding, so it's fine. So the order of damage when it comes to damaging the units is, I think, arm, artillery, ranged if you're playing with the other sets, or just the highest might. So it has to be artillery, which is fine. About to use his last cannonball anyway. So before the bot does those shenanigans, let's use the last cannonball. Boom! We got, let's get rid of that one, and let's get rid of that one, which also takes away the might from that other one. So I'm really eating into the opponent's might now. That's fantastic. Let's see what I get. A character, Lord James Hay, for 1. Let's see, Ensign. They get the response effect. There is no response effect. They're really bad. Perfect. Thank you very much for showing up. I will pass turn, so let's go ahead and pull another one. A unit, the Hanoverian Infantry. Skillful. Nope, they don't do that. They are just going to play into the closest available frontier spot, but they do get a zeal. Not good. Rewind just a hair. Forgot to do that discard effect. What do I discard? A young guard? Oh, I love young guards. And artillery. Game is telling me to shift away from artillery. Oh well. So I deal my 2 zeal damage. The C has been downed. I am now on D. Mobilizing l'Armée du Nord. Sure, why not? And it's now dealing some might. Low threshold, but high hit points. When I destroy it, I will draw a card. So let me go ahead and draw a card for that last destroyed one. Charles de la... Ooh, okay. A Zealot card. So I'm into might now, so the Zealots stuff isn't as important. So as you can see, all 3 of the next ones require might, and then the last one is the Battle of Waterloo, so let's go ahead and focus on that. So I definitely slowed the bot down considerably, and it's only going to deal out 7 damage this turn. -2 is 5, so let's go ahead and deal 5 damage over here. It will progress to E next round, so I'm not that far behind. All right, up to round 8, the bot has gotten their 2 resource cards in there. I've shuffled them in. You will see them as I do the playthrough. So I have 3 cards in hand, one of which I do want to play. And let's see what else I get. Take La Haye. Ooh, no. Sorry. That's that frontier. Not going to pronounce that. And I have the Old Guard. Ooh, 5. Generates a resource. Zeal +1. Big might. Very attractive. All right, I'm going to do it. So I could wait a turn, play it with boost, and get the zeal +1. That's useful towards the end game, but I've already overcome the 2 objectives that require zeal, so I don't know if it's worth giving up the 3 might that I would deal this turn. So I'm kind of trading some zeal later for some might now. I think that's a good trade. So let's get rid of all my cards and tap this. That's 5 resources. Boom, Old Guard. So the bot is going to get 2 plays with their improved deck. See what they do. Event, Torrential Rain. Solo, Mire 1 non-leader enemy. That's okay. Artillery, you're not doing anything. Go ahead and absorb those terrible effects. Mire is basically double tap. So when I would normally refresh everything, I would remove this and it would stay tapped. So I'm okay. The artillery is not going to get anything anytime soon. Thank you for absorbing negative effects. Let's see what else I get. A unit, another 1 unit. Sir Alexander Gordon, response. Don't have to worry about response. It does add a might, though, so just have to take a look at that. All right, so now we're cooking with gas over here. 3, 4, 5, 8, 10. So that is 10 minus 2 is 8. That is all the damage I need, which is exactly why I played the Old Guard, got rid of all my stuff. Boom! So then, when destroyed, draw a card. My 1 card for the next turn. It is French. Ooh. Someone help me out with that. Infantry. So then I could play this into the reserves. Haven't shown my reserves yet. So that is just kind of an area off to the side of my board. And then as another action, I can bring them in, and I would play them at +1 might, kind of setting them up for success. I have not shown these cards because they haven't been important, but I have been in the back of my mind. Each character gets a set of 3 tactics. Tactics are triggers. So then you just kind of have them there. And then when I have something like 3 infantry in 1 row or 3 cavalry in 1 frontier, then I'd be able to do an effect. Haven't really done that yet. I have some characters out there. So when they play in, I'll let y'all know. Nothing changed with the bot. They're still going to blow away this frontier over here. And now, hopefully, I can get them mired up a little bit because they don't have a lot of zeal. And they have to overcome the 4 barrier. So let's see if we can get them stuck on E for a little bit. They didn't pull any 2 resources, but the next round, they're going to shuffle in their 3s. More likely to see their better cards. Right now, it's round 9, 2 resources for the bot. So let's unmire this one. They're still tired. You're about to get fired soon. And we have untapped over here. Let's go ahead and pull 2 more cards. French Lancers, I like the look of them. And Jean de... Ooh, okay, French Marshal General. Got 2 Bloodlusts, which is deal damage to self and then deal it out. All right, let's just go with the Lancers. So we have the 3 resources. You're just going to get tapped resources every single time. And I have another Cavalry in row 3 where they do extra, or they get an extra might for being back there. That's going to cost me all my cards, but that is worth it. So then let's take a look at what they do. Napoleon's Illness. Action. Deal 1 damage to 1 enemy or deal 1 damage to Napoleon. That's a solo. Napoleon is not in the game. Going to go ahead and discard that. Play the next one. Save the world again? Man, these British have a high importance to themselves. Attachment. Attached to Sir Arthur Wellesley gains zeal +1. Ugh. Oh, that is exactly what I don't want. Where is my discard attachments card? All right, so for my turn, I'm going to do the Bloodlust thing. Let's go ahead and tap this. And I'm going to deal out damage to the enemy in my frontier, which is going to be this one. Doing it because they deal out zeal. And they only have the 1 hit point. So let's go ahead and take them out. And pull again. Reverse slope event. It is a response or solo. Deal 1 damage to 1 artillery. Thank you. That one was just absorbing bad stuff. Perfectly fine. So I'm going to pass turn on that one and then play again. That is another event. Block supply routes. Put this card on top of the enemy deck. Your opponent discards instead of drawing cards next round. Basically, I draw 1 card. So, don't love that, but I will live with it. So I've been calculating my might very specifically to tap what I need to progress, and I just use the rest in order to attack the enemy. That's been very intentional. I know I'm not filming my strategy time, but that's what I've been doing. So it's really, really satisfying to be able to do. So I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I overcome the 4. I deal 6 damage. I kill this thing in one go. So then when it's destroyed, draw 1 card. This one is when you destroyed during a multiplayer game, you must destroy one of your units or characters if possible. No, we're not doing that. Just drawing a card. We're going to pretend that card was the card that was put on top of here by the enemy. So I draw nothing. So thanks to this attachment, 4, 5, 6 zeal. Thanks to me killing this thing, that's only 6 zeal. -4 is 2. So I have successfully slowed down the bot's progress through E. I'm on F. Feeling great about that. What I'm not feeling great about is now I'm on round 10. The bot has their 3 cost cards that they're going to shuffle in. So now really going to see what the bot has to offer. All right, untap this. This threshold is 4 and it has to deal 9 hit points. So I'm dealing 13 might. Doubt I can get that in 1 round, but we're going to give it our best chance. Let's untap all that. Pull 2 cards. We have French infantry, zeal +1, French artillery. Okay, you know how much I like my artillery. I am going to pass, and I'll show you why I'm going to pass in just a second, but they get their 2 card plays. Event. Place Sir Arthur Wellesley at any frontier and remove 2 damage from him. Or remove 2 damage. That is, there is no damage on Sir Arthur Wellesley, so we're just going to go ahead and play the next card. All right, we have a character, champion. Deal 2 damage to 1 non-leader enemy. I think they do that. I'm going to live a little bit dangerously and play them right there. And let's go ahead and take another one out. Now we got the 3 unit. Action, Bloodlust. They don't take the action, but they do fill a spot. The reason I was okay passing is because total, I'm dealing 14 damage. Yes! I had been so many cards tapped, I didn't realize how powerful my army was, but it's actually really good. So 14 -4 is 10. That is plenty. When destroyed, draw a card. That is solo. And that is another old guard. Ooh, can I get that out? I don't think so. I only have the 3 cards. But wait, I'm going to draw next turn? Oh, maybe. And very importantly, I am now at the Battle of Waterloo. First player to destroy 2 frontiers, the Battle of Waterloo wins the game. I no longer have to worry about the objectives. Now it's all about the frontiers. The bot now has 7 zeal, -4 is 3. They are still stuck on the E, so they still have to get through the F, which they will pretty easily, and then get to G. So I have a couple of turns to play with where I get to take some shots at the frontier and establish my lead. All right, next round, draw 2 cards. Grand Battery. If I had some artillery, it would fire them all, but don't have that. And deal 1 damage to every enemy at Huguenot. Ooh, that might be great. But I am going to hold, and be disciplined. And I'm going to pass my turn because I'm going to set stuff up, but I want to get my full hand and play the best cards possible. But they do get the 1 event. So play 1 British card for free. I imagine that just means I'll play the next card, because you can't play it. So they're going to just play their next card. Dutch infantry, comrades. Add 1 more copy of this card from your discard pile to your hand. Can't do that. But they finally fill their area. And so what's going to happen is, as they play more units, they're going to replace the weenie unit. So you are not long for the world, neither are you. So yeah, they have a plan for taking care of this. Oh, by the way, look at that guy. He's still there. Not for long. So the way frontier battles work is a little bit different. It's similar to the objectives, in which you are going to add up either your zeal or your might. But in the Waterloo area, you add might first. And you only do the might battle if the opponent has arrived. The opponent has not arrived, so you skip that. You do, however, do the zeal. So they're there, pounding their lances and, shooting their muskets in the air, getting themselves pumped up. If they have more zeal than the others, which is obviously true, then 1 zeal, 1 damage gets put on there. If I can get to 6 damage, once the 10 total damage hits here, then I claim that frontier. So that's very important that I got there early. Same thing over here. Got some zeal. Going to play right there. Bam. And clearly, those are the 2 frontiers that I'm going for. The enemy got held up because of my surgical strikes at their zeal generating opponents. So this did not happen by accident. So they finally get this. And they are definitely going to get that next turn. They have plenty of might to blow that away. So in 2 rounds, they're going to arrive in Waterloo. And they're going to arrive in Waterloo with some 4 cards, because it is now the next round. They shuffle in their 4 cards. So it's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger against me. All right, I'm patiently waiting for my enemy to come, so got to set myself up in the best position possible. All right, so I got the 5 cards, and I'm going to draw 2 more. We got, let's see, the attachment. Attached to a character to gain zeal +1. I'm already doing really good on zeal. Middle guard boost gains might +1. That might be a really good one. But no, we are going to hold. Put myself in the best position. Sometimes, and this is actually a thing that I've noticed in Tristan Hall's games. This also happened in Shadows of Kilforth as well. Sometimes the best play is not to play. Sometimes the best play is to wait, build up, and then just strike later. Well done, Tristan. Really had to think my way through these turns. So then they get the card play. It is an event. The event is Mire 1 non-enemy leader with zeal +1 or lower. Mire sucks. It's exactly why you're out there, soldier. You fell into my trap. All right, so that's it. I'm going to pass, and let's get another event out there. All right, remove 1 damage from every British unit or character. Don't have any of that. Nope, they're going to have none of that happening. I should have just thrown out some damage just to absorb that event. Who knew? Action, mire any 2 non-leader characters. Oh, a 4 event. Ugh, that is really patootie. I don't think I can mire somebody if they're already mired. Give that a try right there. So let's just go ahead and mire these 2. The least productive. No, this one is the least productive. I don't think I'll need the resource because I have a lot of cards. And this one is dealing out the might, at least for next turn. We don't want that might. So, I don't want that might too, but I guess I'm stuck. All right, so that was it. And now we deal out that frontier damage. I still have zeal for both of the areas. I still do not have the might to apply because the enemy is not there yet. I thought this was just going to be a formality, but the enemy actually only has 12 might total out there. That's amazing. So they just barely got over it, even with a full tableau. They did get over it. The Battle of Waterloo is on. And it is on with their 5s in the deck, so no longer keeping track of resources. They may not get the 5. Matter of fact, the odds are pretty low, but you never know. My 5 might sneak in there and get me. All right, so these ones are unmired. Still tired. Don't know if I love that nomenclature, but what are you going to do? So everything is where it should be. Got my 6 cards. Going to draw up. Going to have to play something. So that. Whatever that French word pronunciation is. This is an attachment. Place 3 damage tokens on this card. Attached to a frontier. It gains my +2. All right, so that makes a frontier harder to get. So I'm going for these cards. The eligible one would be here, but I don't really care. I think I can get those 2 before the enemy claims this one, so don't worry about that. Discard fodder. 4, Elite Guard Artillery. So then gain 3 cannon tokens, has a little bit better stats, which accounts for their slightly higher resource cost. Artillery is good. All right, lots of puzzling out what to do. So going to go ahead and delay just a little bit more. And I'm going to play this one. So we're going to go ahead and tap the old guard. Oh, that hurts to tap the old guard. We're not going to tap the old guard. So we're just going to play 2. These 5s. The 5s are not getting played. It's as good as they are. So this is going to place 3 damage tokens on this. And I'm going to attach this to a frontier. This is defensive. So the frontier has might +2. So it delays this bot from getting this frontier. I'm basically giving it up. But I don't want the bot to just get it because, just to make sure that the bot doesn't sneak one up on me. So now it has to overcome the 2 might. So I don't have to worry about that one. That's fine. Let's go ahead and pick. Now Matsland. Sure. 4. That's the bad news. Event. Destroy up to 2 non-leader characters and or infantry units. Ugh. Characters or infantry, huh? Okay. So here's infantry. Here is a character. They were near death anyway. Good service, y'all. Hardly knew ye. This one loses a might because it is out of the 3rd row. So all sorts of badness happened right there. But with crisis comes opportunity. Let's go ahead and play this 4. I'm going to discard all of my cards and play the 4. It is artillery. So it gets the 3 cannon tokens, and it is going to help me get progress on this frontier. Let's pick number 1. It is a character. It doesn't do anything. The 1 does technically replace the 0, which adds 1 might to that area. So it didn't do too much. Not too worried about that. Let's get rid of these characters. 1 hit point, 1 hit point, and 1 damage to the leader. So if things get really desperate, then I will go for the leader. Don't think that's going to be necessary. So that is going to be a pass turn. So it's going to get a card play and then the end of turn card play. Let's see. Unit. Just more stuff to go out there. Just replaces the 1 that was already lost, but at least it's the 1. I'll take it. And then a character, a 3. Inevitable. It's just going to replace the stuff. I was hopeful to get more events, but it just didn't happen. So more responses played. I should have probably checked out this one. Skillful Mire 1 non-leader enemy. Mire really sucks. It's going to have to be these Lancers over here. Oh, man. Struggling to get things done. So now we have the frontier battle. So we have 3, 4, 5 might over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 might over here. I am ahead by 1. So then I get to deal the 1 damage total. Let's see if it happens. All right. So we have 2, 4, 5 over here. We have 3 over there. So the enemy is going to show up and show out right there. We have 2, 3, 4 right there, but this has 2 might. So let's go ahead and do that. So even though the enemy is a little bit clunky, they do some dumb things. They're so brutish that they could just overwhelm these 2 frontiers on me if I'm not careful. All right, so everything is up. I got my 2 cards. Nothing really I'm interested in playing right now. One's a unit. One is cancel an enemy event that is played. I might, if the event is really bad, then I'll go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to fire once. Boom. All right, let's see what terribleness is in store for me. An event. Grouchies. Grouchet? Sure. Fruity Picnic. Action, mire 1 enemy or destroy the Marquis de Grouchy. Nope. So we're just going to go ahead and mire an enemy in row 3. Blech. I will pass the turn. See what else nastiness the boss has for me. The Hidden Ridge Defender solo. Move 1 damage from 1 unit or character. Wasn't going to kill the leader anyway. So I forgot to mention that you actually do a might and a zeal battle for each of the 3 frontiers. Keep things moving. So I've adjusted accordingly. So let's do the might battle. We got 1, 2, 4. We got 3, 4, 5, 6. So I deal my 2 damage. So I have now claimed that. So that's going to be pretty good news. And I get that 1. So that's 7. I'm not worried about that. Next turn it'll be mine. This is a much bigger problem. So we have might battle 2, 4. And then we have 3 over here because of this. Just so they get their 1 more. And then zeal. Whoa, baby. 5, 6 versus 1. So they are slowly pulling ahead of me. It's 5-3. I need to get a nice rally. And this was supposed to be my ace in the hole to get that rally. Didn't work out. Here we go. So we have the 2, 3, 4. The 2 might get that away from there. So that becomes a 2. And then another 1. So they have claimed, or they're going to claim this one. And I need to really turn this one around if I'm going to make any headway in this game whatsoever. So I got my 2 cards. Let's untap that. Very important. I really can't stand that. I probably should have mired this one instead, but that's a retcon. I was doing pretty good. Retcon. Can't look back. I only can look forward. All right, we got a 2, an infantry, and a 3 character. Draw a card and move 1 French unit to a different frontier. Okay, there's some possibilities there. So because this card is not doing anything for me, I think I really screwed up by miring this card and not this one. Whatever. So I'm just going to have to sacrifice it because I need to make room, because right now I would lose. So I need to put something in there that will turn the difference. Man, I can't believe my whole game is going to turn on that one decision. Okay, the bot goes an attachment attached to Sir Arthur Wellesley. He gets +1 might. No, +1 might. Not good, not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my cheapest card that I can play that will give me some might. So let's go ahead and play those 2 and get rid of these 2. Holding this one in reserve just in case I have to cancel an enemy effect. The effect is might +1. That's just not going to do any good whatsoever. And the bot is going to get 2. So they are going to play the Black Brunswickers. The other Brunswicker is gone, so they just kind of appear there. And then they're going to get another unit. That's going to replace one of the 1s. So they're going to replace a 1, any of the 1s. So they just replaced the 1 right there. And let's go and calculate my probably loss. All right, so I deal 3 damage this one. I have claimed the Papillote Farm. The bot has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 might over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I actually, I dealt the damage over there. So then the Zeal Battle, let's see what happens with the Zeal Battle. Just changing that out. So then 1, 2, that Zealot is over there. So then we got the 6. That makes 9. So 3, 6, 9. The bot claims that. The bot is going to claim this bottom frontier. Now, I do not know if that artillery move had cost me the game because of the way the bot fills in that middle row, but a lot of strategizing going on, a lot to think about. Even with that kind of slowish beginning, and you guys can judge for yourself whether the card play and the pacing is right for you. I just think there's a lot to offer if you like the kind of pacing and the way the game envelops, and also if you like the theme. I like the first 2 games, especially for multiplayer. Solo, I have some difficulties. You can probably imagine what they are. But as a multiplayer game, I think it's a total no-brainer. 1815, 1565, St. Elmo's Pay. 1066 is the original one. They combine. You can play factions against each other. It's a really, really cool system. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding you that we'll see you at the next stop.